Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. Before I begin that video, real quick, a couple quick announcements. If you're interested in signing up for the different classes that I offer, I have a bunch of ongoing series on the Patreon page, the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3 is the tier you want to join. That gives you access to the 3 private classes I do every month, in addition to the group ritual we do together. And keep in mind, when you do join the Patreon, you don't just get access to the classes from the day you join moving forward. You also get access to everything in the archive. Okay? And I have a bunch of ongoing series. Luciferian Magic and Self-Mastery, Clepothic Sorcery, Shadow Work class, Sith, Dark Side, Alchemy, and Philosophy class, Esoterical Occult Bible Study class. I just added a new one that'll begin this Thursday night, the 5th of October, which is Necromancy and Dark Witchcraft class. There's a Ancient Egyptian Vampiric class. I mean, there's a bunch of classes on there. And as I said, on the Patreon, I go in a little bit more personal, more in-depth, and there's things we're going to talk and discuss on there that we will not discuss openly on YouTube. And also there's ritual work, exercises, assignments that we do as a group. And again, so it's for that practitioner that wants to take their spiritual path of self-mastery to the next level. Okay, so that's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3, that's the tier you want to join. That'll give you access to the classes and the group ritual, the 3 private ones I do every month. If you're interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, hit me up at khnum19@gmail.com. I offer various different readings: Clepothic demonic readings, Santa Muerte readings, Egyptian oracle readings, deity readings, shadow work readings. The list goes on. Shoot me an email and I will send you information on how to book a reading or a spiritual consultation. I'll get that information over to you. Also, the 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference, 6th straight year we're doing this, is in full effect, up and running. You could sign up and register now, the 19th to the 22nd of October. So we are just literally a little bit over 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away, of classes, workshops, speakers, presentations, group rituals on Friday and Saturday evening we do together as a family, followed by a group dinner, some socializing, hanging out, having some fun, kicking it, laughing. And, laughing is one of the best forms of therapy. And we like to kind of have a little fun too. That's on Friday and Saturday night. And then Sunday, the event caps off. I do a Q&A session, a question and answer from noon to 4 p.m. on anything you want to talk about the occult, the left-hand path, or any events that transpired over the weekend of the 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference. You also can attend virtually and get access to the classes. Shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com, and I'll get that info over to you. Okay, how to sign up and how to register. Also, check us out on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9, all one word. Also on Facebook, 2 words, Primordial Chaos, where I also upload all this new content. Also, all this new content is uploaded to the Primordial Chaos podcast, which is available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast, my contact email address, and the direct link to the Patreon page of Primordial Chaos, where you can sign up for the classes, is all in the description box of this video that you're watching right now. All right, I wanted to do a part 2 and continue discussing what I talked about in the last video, okay? Music magic, the power of music. And how the sounds, vibration, tones, and frequencies of the music. I was talking about, in the previous video, how to use, music ritualistically, how to create your own playlist. So I want to kind of expand even further and talk more about that, and also how music is incorporated in your ritualistic work. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about that. In discussions with people, you're going to find that some people like to use what we call ritual or chamber music. I do. So during a lot of my ritual work, I like to use a lot of dark ambient music. which gives me, a certain vibe or feel ritualistically. It gives me a certain vibe or feel. But having said that, you can do very non-traditional things. You can use hip-hop music. You can use popular music. You can use mainstream music, because it can be used in the same effect, because the music, whether it's the lyrics, the type of instrumentals that's used, or instruments, etc., all can be incorporated ritualistically into your work. So it don't matter if you use traditional music. It doesn't matter if you use, again, more modern or a certain genre of music you like. I've myself, and I've known plenty of people who use, for an example, old school hip hop, right? I've tend to use that in the past. I could take Public Enemy. I could take Rakim, because I might be doing a ritual that I've automatically connected in my subconscious mind with an aspect of myself that might connect to one of them songs during a certain time period, etc. Because remember, music magic is about capturing the moment, right? Because there's time travel involved in it too. Because literally, if you really zone in and focus, let's just say, I'm just going to keep it 100% with you. Let's just say, if you are, to show you the power of the mind and how very effective this methodology can be. Let's just say, perchance, you're zoning in and listening to a slow jam, and you're reflecting on a person that you were with, that you had a sexual encounter with. If you lock in, you can take yourself back literally to a specific sexual encounter and relive it in detail, vividly, from beginning to end, if you've trained your mind correctly and focused. Now, there's vampiric aspects to that practice, because it's almost like tapping into the astral realm or astral projecting. There is a connection to that. Not quite the same thing, but it is, you're tapping in to the quote-unquote spiritual realms. We'll use that term. But this is how effective sound and vibration and harmonics can affect you ritualistically, right? As I talked about in the previous video, certain music automatically alters your emotion. When you're listening to something very aggressive, that with a combination of the lyrics, it affects your emotions and the way you feel and the way you think. Now, music can also be weaponized as a tool against individuals, because propaganda can be pumped into a lot of these tunes and music and sound, just like they do in movies. So we need to be cautious of that. I say that because, in my opinion now, the way music is trending, and again, this is just my opinion, I think that's being done now to the youth, right? It's being weaponized to promote their agenda, whether it's politically or on a multitude of other levels. So we always got to be cautious of what we watch and view and what we're listening to. And that's why I was saying in the previous video, this is why if you listen to music of your generation, it keeps you young and vibrant and refreshed, right? And it creates a healing at a cellular level. It replenishes cells that need to be repaired or regenerated or renewed. And it's crazy, because the only way I can describe it is in words, but there's a certain energy and a feel. Like if I'm listening to, for an example, old school hip hop, if I'm listening to Rakim or Big Daddy Kane or Public Enemy or Special Ed or Boogie Down Productions or Cool G Rap, etc., etc., I automatically feel that vibrational energy that I felt when it was out at that time. I'm automatically locked into the moment of where I was at that age and what I felt like. It could be old school heavy metal. If I'm listening to Motley Crue Shout at the Devil, I can go back to 1982, 83, and be right locked into that moment, but pull from the energy of that frequency that was uplifting and pull it into the now. See, that's what I'm labeling music magic is. And this is why from day one I've always been a music head. I love music. I'm constantly, and I love all types of genres of music, right? Because it depends on my mood or what I'm feeling is going to determine what kind of music I listen to. Now, I mentioned dark ambient ritualistic music. I sometimes listen to that if I'm driving or if I'm just sitting in silence or relaxing, because it puts me, I don't look at it as ambient or dreary or dark. It locks me in, for an example, to this path that I am on, that I am, navigating my journey through. It creates a certain ambiance or a certain vibe. Hey, sometimes even I like to zone into Gregorian chant music, right? Ancient Gregorian chant music in the old Latin, that sets a mood, a precedent, right? So all of this, every last bit of what I'm talking about is connected to harmonics, to tone, to vibration, to frequency and sound, which is the same reason why there are those aspects to mantras and chanting. It's very similar, because the vibrational frequency of the sound is what takes you and uplifts you spiritually to another state, mind state, or as they say in alchemy, when you speed up your vibrational frequency, you become less dense. When one becomes less dense and more in tune with the spiritual realm, it's very easy for one to have an out-of-body experience, to astral travel, to go into transcendental meditation. Any of those things that we're talking about, all right? It could be any of those things. So I just want to make it crystal clear. I just want to make it crystal clear that the power of that sound is what creates that energy, right? And is what alters your frequency within you. Okay? Now, I know this about it also works the reverse. There's certain sounds in music that can be very irritating, right? Certain pitches, right? I'm not really big on very high pitched squealing type of sounds. Now, I like the electric guitar, but certain sounds, the way the electric guitar, there's certain pitches or frequencies that can get a little bit aggravating to me, right? I don't like really very high pitched sounds, where some do. And a lot of that has to do with your personal tone and frequency. Like I said, each individual, when you're doing your mantras and you're chanting, your natural tone when it comes to chanting or doing mantras is somewhere on the A to F frequency. Trust me. I know mine is D major, right? And going into approaching, F, which is more of a deep baritone or deeper frequency. And this is why I always love like deep bass lines in music. I love the deep sound of bass when bass hits. I like the bass drum. I mean, you just resonate with certain aspects when it comes to the sound of music and frequency and the harmonics that are affiliated with it. Now, mid-tone, like Gregorian chorale, if you're familiar with that type of music where it's group chorale and you hear the different tones, like we all were in school, for an example, where they label people in a choir, soprano 1 and 2, altos, which are the more lower frequencies. That is a very healing sound to me when you hear the harmonious meshing of sopranos and altos, but hitting the right tones and frequencies in a form of music called Gregorian chorale, right? So all of this stuff can be ritualized, because listen, man, the power of sound, vibration, frequency, and tone is just, man, it's incredible. I mean, I can't even, I could be here all day putting it into words, okay? Now, one other thing is there's a lot of people also, the last thing I want to finish with, binaural beats. I know a lot of people over the years, that's become a very a popular thing that's used ritualistically and for healing. Binaural beats, because again, now binaural beats taps in more to the levels and frequency of tones, okay? So that could be very, healing to create certain balance and harmonies within your central nervous system, within your spirit, within your soul. A lot of people like to do it while they sleep, or a lot of people just like to put them on to lock in. And binaural beats, because of the way they're recorded and captured, you really, in order for them to work effectively, in my opinion, if you have a really good sound system, but it's probably best that you do have a good set of headphones where you can hear, because the binaural beats is almost like a tuning fork, right? How a tuning fork would work, because binaural beats is almost like tuning your natural tune or tone in, and you really need to be locked in and hear very clear and crisp every frequency, tone, and sound in order for you to really capture the full effect. And that's why a good pair of headphones or earbuds or something of very good quality is really beneficial, in order to, in my opinion, in order to really lock in and get the effects of when you're working with binaural beats, okay? So, I mean, there's a lot of methods you can use. Try what I said in the first video. If you've never tried it, make that playlist, right? And use it to ritualize your life. Remember, that playlist, that's the soundtrack to the movie called Your Life. And you're going to find out that there's so many moments you automatically identify and connect with through the music that you've listened to and taken a liking to over the years. Again, from the small aspect of a small child, to your adolescent years, to your teenage years, to your adult life, to your present day, right? It's a very powerful and effective tool. And I would encourage you guys to try it. I guarantee you'll get something out of it that it will assist you on your spiritual path. And I guarantee you'll never look at music the same. And like I said, I use it all the time in the gym, and it makes your workout go so fast. I mean, I enjoy exercising in the gym, but that just complements it and speeds up the process and makes it go so much faster. It's just incredible. It's the only way I can put it into words. It's incredible, right? So I would encourage you guys to really look into, see how you can ritualize your music. See how you can apply, whether it's to your literal rituals. But remember, your life in general. I want to make this clear. Because the word ritual is about transforming things. You do rituals to transform things. Your whole life should be ritualized, because you're constantly transforming and changing. And that's why this aspect of using music on a regular, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever basis can be so empowering if you really are able to tap in. Okay? And once you have that awareness and that ability, I'm telling you, man, you're going to enjoy doing it. And it's fun. Sometimes, again, as I said, there can be some emotional aspects to it, because, yes, you will also tap into some emotional moments in your life. I'm not going to lie. You're going to tap into some traumatic aspects of your life, because there is going to be music that is connected to things that happen to you, obviously, that are not so positive. But that in itself can bring healing too, okay? That in itself, sometimes it might bring something up that you thought you had passed and dealt with, and you didn't. And maybe you need to reflect on it more. Maybe you need to focus on it more to get a deeper understanding. So it can pull stuff out of you like that. But you find your niche, you find your way, you see how you can make it work for you, and I guarantee you'll find something that's going to work very effective for you. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there about, add this part on top of the other one. I just felt like there was a little more to talk about. And again, if you're interested in exploring this further, this is one of our shadow work methods that we use in the shadow work class, right? This is something I introduced a few years back and then incorporated it in the shadow work classes that we do on Patreon. So if you want to explore this further, that's another great place to go and see where it takes you. All right, that's going to leave it. That's going to do it for this video. Again, if you need to reach out to me for a spiritual reading, a consultation, or you want to sign up for the 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com, and I'll send you that information over. Keep in mind the direct link to the podcast, the direct link to the Facebook or the Instagram pages, and also the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page, and to sign up for classes All of those links and contact info is in the description box of this video. All right, fraternal blessings, and we'll talk soon.